Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I want to tell you a story that may quietly change the way you see yourself, your struggles, and your future. Not a loud story, not a dramatic story, but a simple one that carries a deep truth. A story about potential, about the hidden strength inside you, and about how achieving anything in life begins with understanding who you really are. Once, in a small village surrounded by mountains and slow-moving rivers, there lived a young man named Aaron. He was not famous, not rich, and not particularly gifted in any obvious way. He worked at a small tea shop near the edge of the village, serving travelers who passed through on their way to bigger cities and bigger dreams. Every morning he would wake before sunrise, sweep the dust from the floor, boil water, and prepare cups of tea for strangers who rarely remembered his name. And every evening, when the shop closed and the sky turned gold and purple, Aaron would sit alone on the wooden steps and stare at the mountains. He often wondered what life would feel like on the other side of them. He imagined people who were brave, confident, successful. People who seemed born with something special. Something he believed he did not have. Inside his heart lived a quiet belief that shaped everything he did. The belief that he was ordinary. That greatness belonged to others. That dreams were beautiful to think about, but dangerous to chase. And so he stayed where he was, safe in routine, safe in familiarity, safe in the idea that this was all life had planned for him. One evening, as the village prepared for a festival, a traveler came into the tea shop. He was old, with calm eyes and slow movements, and he carried nothing but a small bag and a walking stick. He ordered tea and sat near the window, watching the fading light. Aaron served him quietly, but something about the traveler made him linger. There was a stillness around the man, as if time itself slowed when he breathed. After a few moments, the traveler spoke without turning his head. He said, "You look like someone who is carrying a heavy question." Aaron was surprised. He hesitated, then laughed nervously and said, "I don't think I am carrying anything special." The traveler smiled gently. He said, "The heaviest questions are the ones we pretend we don't have." Those words stayed in the air, soft but powerful. Aaron felt something open inside him. Before he could stop himself, he asked, "Do you think everyone has a purpose, or only some people?" The traveler turned and looked directly at him. His eyes were kind, but very clear. He said, "Everyone has a purpose. The problem is not finding it. The problem is believing you are worthy of it." Aaron did not know what to say. No one had ever spoken to him like that before. The traveler finished his tea, stood up slowly, and placed a small coin on the table. Before leaving, he said, "If you wish to unlock your potential, stop asking what you can become. Start asking who you already are." That night, Aaron could not sleep. The traveler's words echoed in his mind. Who you already are. He realized something uncomfortable. For years, he had been waiting to become confident before chasing dreams. Waiting to become talented before trying new things. Waiting to become brave before taking risks. But what if confidence, talent, and bravery were not things you waited for, but things you grew by acting? The next morning, as he prepared the tea shop, he noticed how quickly he dismissed himself. When a customer complimented his tea, he said it was nothing. When someone asked about his life, he said it was simple and unimportant. He began to see a pattern. Not in life, but in his own mind. For the first time, Aaron decided to change something small. Very small. Instead of telling himself he was ordinary, he told himself one quiet sentence. "I am still becoming." At first, the words felt strange. Almost dishonest. But he repeated them in silence while sweeping. While boiling water, while serving tea. "I am still becoming." Days passed. Then weeks. And something subtle shifted. Aaron started paying attention to what interested him. He noticed he loved listening to travelers' stories. He loved imagining distant places. He loved the calm rhythm of preparation and service. He realized that potential was not a single talent waiting to be discovered, but a direction waiting to be chosen. One afternoon, a group of travelers spoke about building a school in a nearby town. They needed people who could help organize supplies and communicate with villagers. Normally, Aaron would have ignored the conversation. But that quiet sentence rose inside him. I am still becoming. Without fully understanding why, he spoke up. He said, I can help. The word surprised even him. The travelers looked at him, unsure. One of them asked, do you have experience? Aaron almost said no. Almost shrank back into safety. But then he remembered the traveler's eyes, the calm certainty. And he said, I am willing to learn. They accepted him. That decision did not change his life instantly. He made mistakes. He misunderstood instructions. He felt insecure many times. But something important was happening beneath the surface. Each time he showed up, each time he tried, each time he failed and continued, he was teaching himself a new truth. Potential is not proven by success. It is built through effort. As months passed, Aaron learned skills he never knew he could learn. Organizing, speaking, planning. He discovered patience. He discovered courage. Not the loud kind, but the quiet kind that wakes up early and keeps going even when no one is watching. One evening, after a long day of work, he sat by the river with one of the travelers, a woman who had become his mentor without either of them noticing. She asked him, do you still think you are ordinary? Aaron smiled softly. He said, I think ordinary is just a word we use when we don't yet see our own depth. She nodded and said, that is the beginning of wisdom. Years later, Aaron no longer worked in the tea shop. He helped build schools, organize communities, and guide young people who felt lost as he once had. But what mattered most was not what he did. It was who he became. And here is the truth this story carries for you. Your potential is not hidden in the future. It is present in this moment, in the choices you make, in the thoughts you repeat, in the courage you practice when no one applauds. We often believe that achieving anything requires something extraordinary. Special talent. Perfect timing. Luck. Approval. But the deeper truth is simpler and more challenging. Achieving anything requires alignment between who you think you are and who you are willing to become. The mind is a powerful place. What you believe about yourself becomes the ceiling of your life. If you believe you are limited, your actions will stay small. If you believe you are capable, your actions will slowly expand. Zen teaches us something very gentle and very radical. You are not separate from your potential. You are not broken waiting to be fixed. You are a seed already containing the forest. But seeds do not become trees by wishing. They grow by resting in the soil, by receiving water, by reaching slowly toward light. Growth is quiet. Progress is often invisible. Transformation happens not in dramatic moments, but in daily decisions. Achieving anything does not begin with conquering the world. It begins with understanding your own patterns. Noticing the stories you tell yourself. The fears you protect. The excuses you repeat. The dreams you postpone. Ask yourself gently. What am I avoiding because I am afraid of failing? What am I delaying because I am afraid of changing? What am I denying because I am afraid of discovering who I could be? Potential is unlocked not by force, but by awareness. There is a calm power in accepting where you are without surrendering where you are going. You do not need to hate your present to create a better future. You only need to respect your present enough to improve it. Every great journey begins with a single honest step. Not toward perfection. Toward presence. When you focus only on outcomes, you become anxious. When you focus only on comparison, you become discouraged. But when you focus on the process, on learning, on growing, on showing up, you become unstoppable. Zen reminds us that the present moment is not a barrier. It is the doorway. Right now, in this moment, you already possess the most important tools you will ever need. Attention, intention, and patience. Attention allows you to see your habits clearly. Intention gives direction to your energy. Patience protects you from giving up too soon. You do not need to become someone else to achieve anything. You need to become more fully yourself. Think about this. The greatest limitations in your life are not external. They are internal agreements you made with fear long ago. Agreements that say, I am not enough. I am too late. I am too different. I am not ready. But agreements can be broken. Every time you choose discipline over comfort, you rewrite your future. Every time you choose courage over doubt, you expand your identity. Every time you choose consistency over intensity, you build something lasting. Success is not a destination. It is a relationship with effort. There will be days when motivation disappears. Days when doubt speaks loudly. Days when progress feels slow. But remember this. A river does not stop flowing because it meets rocks. It flows around them. Through them. Over them. Your path will not be straight. It does not need to be. What matters is direction. Ask yourself not how fast am I moving, but am I moving toward what matters? Zen teaches that attachment to outcomes creates suffering. When you cling too tightly to results, you lose peace. But when you commit to the path, you gain freedom. Do your best, release the rest. Achieving anything requires trust. Not blind trust, but earned trust in your ability to learn, adapt, and continue. You are allowed to be a beginner. You are allowed to change your mind. You are allowed to grow slowly. You are allowed to become someone new. The world does not need a perfect version of you. It needs an honest one. Imagine if Aaron had waited to feel ready before speaking up. He would still be staring at mountains, believing they were walls instead of doors. Your mountains are not blocking you. They are shaping you. Every challenge you face is training. Every failure is feedback. Every delay is preparation. When you stop fighting yourself and start guiding yourself, life changes. Breathe deeply and remember. Your value is not measured by achievements. Your worth is not dependent on approval. Your potential is not limited by your past. It is revealed by your willingness to grow. The most powerful question you can ask is not what if I fail, but what if I succeed beyond what I can imagine? And even more powerful. Who do I become by trying? You do not unlock potential by waiting for confidence. Confidence is built by action. You do not unlock potential by avoiding fear. Fear becomes smaller when you move toward it. You do not unlock potential by seeking certainty. Certainty is created through experience. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Today, choose one small action that aligns with the person you want to become. Just one. Send one message. Read one page. Practice one skill. Speak one honest sentence. Small actions repeated become destiny. Remember, becoming is not a race. It is a rhythm. Walk your path with patience. Carry your dreams with humility. Trust your growth with kindness. And when doubt returns, as it always will, whisper the same words Aaron once learned to say. I am still becoming. Because the moment you believe that, nothing in your life remains fixed. Your past becomes a teacher. Your present becomes a workshop. Your future becomes a possibility. And in that quiet understanding, you will realize something beautiful. You were never meant to unlock your potential. You were meant to remember it. Thank you for listening. If this story spoke to you, carry it with you today. And remember, everything you are searching for is already beginning within you.